that Starladder and Witch Doctor combination. I don't know if it is the Starladder or the Witch Doctor, but it seems like Complexity is super comfortable in that.
It's hard because Complexity are so good with the Ench and the Chen. Like,
I think you still ban the Ench and the Chen.
Yeah, I think you have to against CoL.
But Night Stalker?
Maybe they just don't. Maybe they don't care about Night Stalker.
I mean, well, yeah.
I think you don't care about Night Stalker versus CoL.
Yeah.
That doesn't. That's not a CoL hero. Starladder, Witch Doctor. Starladder is a CoL. That's Kyle's like specialty lately, especially. So I think they could look at banning it. I don't think they absolutely need to. I think they could just play the same.
There we go. Let's see what we've got.
It's the Witch Doctor that they found the biggest threat.
Okay.
And yeah, FY's here has been banned by CoL once again. The LGD.
The Tiny. No change up.
I mean, as we said, the Tiny wasn't the issue, really. Yeah. Sure, the later stage of the Lifestealer was strong against it, but the mid-game maybe was still able to do so much, but
Kyle's got a plan.
Wow, that was
Gyro
fast.
Undying.
Kyle's got a plan. I mean, they know this Tiny first pick is coming, right? So.
Okay, well, talk to me about the Gyro Undying combo.
I mean, it's the classic combo, isn't it? Well, a couple of years back, this was all the rage. Gyro Undying, these two heroes are incredible together, but Undying, it's a very hard hero to play at the moment. It has a lot of weaknesses, doesn't it, Fog?
They want strength in lanes. I think that's what that tells me. Yeah, just strength in lanes and being able to fight early on.
And what makes these two, because you're saying it's a classic combo, what makes these two kick together?
Just sort of the team fight. Yeah, well, you know, you come into the middle of it all with the Undying, slap down a tombstone, you have the zombies everywhere, that's giving you the vision for the flat cannon hits to contact.
You don't even necessarily need the zombies. The tombstone alone gives 1800
Yeah, you're right. At night time as well, yeah. You can abuse the night.
Hit all the times throughout that tomb. That is a cool little combo that does come out.
They'll have the Bane again on the side of LGD. X-Nova played it very well previous game.
Yeah. Okay. LGD maybe not wanted to have such. I mean, like you know, we were saying like the Batrider support, but they got forced to kind of do that one. I don't think they want to have to do that kind of greed again. They want to be.
They want a stronger position for FY. I mean, as I said, he didn't play the bat badly, but it was a hard game to play the bat.
Definitely.
Especially in that support position.
I like this Nature's Prophet ban. Like I said, I think Mu is two best heroes. Yeah, since he doesn't play the Timber Saw much anymore, is that Beastmaster and Nature's Prophet.
Yeah, he had a solid performance, a really nice itemization again. We saw the Nullifier that picks up, do so much against LGD in the late game. Yeah. Complexity, I think, ban a couple of maybes heroes, probably just take out the SF again. Yeah. Standard stuff really for the second room.
Well, that being said, it was maybe on the Tiny previous game, so does that mean that Complexity are expecting a change up here for LGD?
They could.
I mean, we know that the Tiny...
We don't really know exactly what
it can go any of the core, I mean the support roles as well.
It can't go all three roles, but Chalice normally plays more of those like Underlords, Tidehunters, even I mean guess Puck in that.
Tanky playmakers.
Yeah, usually more tanky. The Puck I feel like was a new one for him.
Yeah, but again, it wasn't his strongest hero.
Yeah. So for CoL now, after the Gyro Undying, what else are we gonna see? For that sort of hero to be able to move around with the Undying.
Something that they can collapse with, like with that Nature's Prophet.
Rubik.
I mean, Rubik is the Z-Freak one that sort of screams out. Great with the Gyro.
I'm cool with Rubik.
I mean, you can never go wrong with Rubik, right? That's the point. But I'm interested to see them taking into the bonus time so hard, because I would imagine that they were so confident in picking that Gyrocopter Undying that I felt like they were going to have this solid plan that they were going to fall back on.
Maybe they go back for the Moose King.
Yeah, any sort of addition to team fight would be a great way to approach. Maybe, I don't know if they might want to try and go AA with the Undying. Oh, you're bang on Sand King.
Sand King has been one of the least successful heroes here, unless you're newbie.
Really? And they snap picked the Rubik, so I believe we're gonna have an FY Rubik.
Oh, it's been way too long.
Yeah, and it works. It combos really nicely with Tiny with that offensive null field. It actually makes the burst potential way higher. And of course, it's versus the Sand King and Undying. You have some nice spells you can steal.
5 seconds remaining.
Now CoL. What's the Z-Freak hero?
So you think it's like absolutely going to be Mu on the Sand King? I think that's the support combo, SK Undying.
Absolute, but I would imagine so. Sand King Undying, not the nicest duo of supports. Maybe he could just go for the Disruptor for Complexity here. They already have the vision you get from Undying. Some nice catch.
Disruptor would certainly fit in that sense. And I wonder if LGD, though, if Complexity are going to be worried at all of LGD sort of setting up for an Omni pick for their offlane with that.
Whoa. Okay. All right. So, talk to me.
Whoa, no one's picking that hero but Liquid.
Yep, Moo off lane. You got your tri-lane with the IO Undying and the Gyrocopter.
They have no disable between their two supports. They have to rely... This is literally relying completely on Moo on the Sanking to make catches happen.
On the bright side, PL hasn't won a single game just yet.
But there's no disable.
But
there's only
no
the Sanking to
yeah.
lock this guy down so far.
And you've got this core hero now that can get on top of the Tombstone, take that out at the start of the fights.
Yeah, he kills it so fast.
All right. You're gonna have to tell me about some sparkles of hope there for Complexity, because they surely have a plan with this. They must be thinking some good things.
The Gyro, it works both ways against the PL. You know, the Gyro can still deal with the illusions if he's got the flat cannon up, and as long as he's not too far behind, he's got great OE. The team fight, definitely the biggest problem at the moment is the fact that you're relying on that Burrow Strike, which is, say, not on your support hero, it's only on your offlaner for that real hard initiation.
You can run him down.
You can, absolutely. I mean, Undying and IO, perfect heroes to dive towers and run at them, as you say, with the Gyro, moving him in with the early rotations. But at the same time, LGD, they have got good control. You start diving a tower, you're going to run into an Avalanche, Telekinesis Nightmare. They have a lot of control in the lanes.
I mean, when you're CoL, this is your last game potentially at the tournament, right? You got nothing to lose.
Well, you got everything to lose.
Well, I mean, you can throw them off completely, right?
Sure. This might be their poker strat that they have in mind, you know?
Are we going to see is what the level 25 IO, where you attack with every flat cannon hit? Is that what we're playing for here on CoL? That sounds like such a complexity thing. Let's go for the 17-minute game.
Get that Aghanim's tether bonus.
The Aghanim's tether bonus. Just do it.
Even though we never see anyone take it, they always take the spirit
damage. This is the game for the Aghanim's tether bonus, I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
Well, I hate to break it to you, but
I don't think we've ever seen it. I don't think I've ever seen any game that I cast.
I don't think I've seen
no
a
one ever
game
takes
with
it.
Never. I've seen always
no
the
one
spirit damage, the spirit AoE.
But if there was a team to take it,
it
would be Complexity.
It would be Z-Freak.
It would be Z.
So Complexity has this lineup that has the potential, correct me if I'm wrong, has the potential to completely steamroll LGD and end the game in like 25 minutes, right?
That's what they're going for.
That's what
they want to crush lanes. They want to be zooming across the map. I mean, you have an Undying on your lineup. You don't really want to. You don't want to take it too late to the game. Sure, you have like that double heal combo with Soul Rip plus IO, which can transition a bit, but
there's not insane amounts of base defense from LGD yet.
Yeah, I mean they don't really have a.
LGD's really getting into their bonus time too. Look at this.
Yeah,
they are. They're thinking about this.
I mean, that's what happens when you see like IO. You're like, wait a minute.
What's their plan?
GH isn't on that team. What the hell's going on here? But Z-Freak has played it many times.
Oh, you know what? I would love to see LGD. Or maybe not, actually. Or maybe.
What is it, Owen?
There's 3 strength heroes. Grab a Timber Sword.
No, they go for the Razor instead.
Razor. I'm not too sure about the Razor pick here. I mean, sure, against the Undying, you have heroes that are going to be running at you. You are going to be able to get good static links off. But so far, I feel more confident with the picks that Complexity have.
LGD does not have team fight on their team.
What are Complexity going to finish off this absolute banger of a draft with?
What's the limp hero?
Is it some hero that they're just going to be creating space for? That he's going to be going out on his own?
Do they need like something like an Ursa if you want to go all in?
No.
No?
You don't think they could just try and play the Tinker game? Go for that global play, you have IO bringing people around for a Tinkering as well, you're getting kills, it's that hero you're creating space for with the amount of fighting that the rest of the lineup's doing.
Not crazy about it, because they only have the Sanking to catch.
Will be Leshrac Lightning Pony, which actually was yeah.
We saw this earlier, didn't we? What it was?
Newbie.
It was Newbie.
It was Newbie. They had the Sanking Underlord Leshrac combo with Chain Pit. They hit combo and stun all the time,
and it just destroyed the PL, cleared out his all illusions.
So Complexity here is going to look to end early. What is LGD going to do? Is their game plan just to drag it out?
I mean, just make sure that they don't get run down too hard in the lanes, really. This Complexity draft is just going to absolutely just zoom straight for you. With the Undying IO, they're going to be prepared to dive towers and enable this Lesh early on. If this Lesh gets a good time in Bloodstone, as we saw in the newbie series, and starts to rack up the charges, it's not going to be any time soon that the sort of BKBs coming out in the lineup of LGD, so it could do a lot.
I think LGD has good ways to deal with like that gyro. I think the Lesh, if they can keep that Lesh down, this Lesh could become pretty squishy because there's a lot of burst. Tiny burst, Rubik burst, Bane, Razor. There's a lot of just single target and just damage that they could just blow him up with. So I'm a bit concerned for that Lesh.
Well, we're going to find out what's going to happen. Can Complexity, for the second time in a row, make it to the playoffs? That's what they did in Season 3. Perhaps they can do it here in Season 4 as well. Winner will face Newbie in the semifinals. Who's it going to be? Let's find out with Lyrical and Blitz.
Thank you so much, Shiver Blitz. I'm so excited for this game. Complexity just got their face pounded into the dirt in game number 1. They lost game number 2 until they won it. What are you thinking for this game number 3 draft?
They were literally losing the game as they were winning it.
Yeah.
They were still losing in gold.
And they ended up being able to come away with the W. And
I wasn't that big of a comeback. It was a very close game at all times.
no, it's one of those things where it's just like it was so ridiculous. How
we shouldn't get hyped about 17K. That's honestly not that big of a number.
It was pretty nuts. But with you. So Chessie here, Mr. Kyle, Z-Freak, they're all going to head up towards the top. And the panel was touching on it. This is a lineup that wants to get in your face early and just battle it out. Do they have strong lanes like last time?
Yeah, and the more important thing is they have stuns, which for some reason, like, Complexity is allergic to lately. Like in the first game, they're like, let's draft no disables. The second game, they're like, let's draft some disables. And in the third game, they're like, let's draft a lot of disables. And I like that. I think it was Kyle that once said, it was like the weirdest logic I've ever heard, but it kind of worked out. He's like, everyone's a bad player in Dota when they get stunned.
I mean, that's a pretty good quote right there.
Is it?
You can't argue with that, right?
You can't, but
what?
I mean, technically he's not wrong, but
I mean, technically not wrong sounds like not wrong to me.
That sounds like the NA way.
Absolutely. You're not a bad team until you lose. It's the same type of logic. He's looking up X Nova right there, trying to see what he's going to do.
Yeah.
But it is a little bit odd because they only have the stuns out of their cores. All of the supports are lacking in Disable.
Mm-hmm. But that's why if you pick Undying plus Wisp, you need cores that have a heavy amount of Disable. Which is why Wisp Tiny is one of the best pairings in the game, right?
Yeah.
You have a hero that technically comes with 2.
Definitely. Well, and the other thing that I'm sort of looking at here, and the thing that I want to keep in mind throughout this cast, is it really is LGD that's, to me at least, coming in as the favorite team. Because I think that each and every game, they've completely outplayed Complexity. And it only happened because they kind of threw the game away there at the end. So it definitely feels to me like it's going to be a tough one for CoL. What is it that LGD do well with this draft?
I think that the PL versus Gyro matchup is not as bad for the PL as people think. Like, of course, the idea is you flat cannon stuff, but once the PL gets hard and items of that nature, it doesn't become as bad. Same with the matchup against the Leshrac. And we already see the strength of Phantom Lancer in the tri-lane. But yeah, I think for LGD, they're still like, what? I heard Mineski came early.
Yeah.
Because they were just like, this is pretty done. It's like a 5-minute drive to the arena, and they're just like, go new.
Yeah, they're ready to play their game, and it's going to be a little bit longer now. The one plus side of this, you mentioned the tri-lane. Undying does love to play in these tri-lanes.
Yes.
Kyle should be a bully.
He's like one of the few heroes that tempo matches Bane.
Also, it means that there's 2 one-on-one matchups in the other lanes. And as somebody that's quite familiar with them, do you feel like there's any inherited outdrafts as far as that goes?
I think the Lesh versus Razor one is kind of interesting because the Razor can usually just win most of the lanes, and Lesh is kind of in a similar spot. He's going for the Lightning build, which I like in this matchup, because he's not going to be able to get on top of the Razor most likely, so he needs to go for the CS war. He also has the added advantage of being able to shove in the wave repeatedly, which then allows him to go for gank opportunities. And meanwhile at bottom, what is it?
It's the Sand King versus Tiny.
I think Sand King probably wins. With Tiny, it's always confusing.
Right.
Because Tiny wins every matchup.
Yeah.
But Sand King typically beats melee heroes.
Yeah, that Caustic is always so good. A 2-person catch there with the Decay, and Kyle trying to bully back these heroes. FY has very limited HP. I think he's sitting at around 400 base, yeah. So
this is the upside of playing Undying, is he's so good against these tri-lanes. So for LGD, they just gotta sit back, allow their other lanes to succeed, which they are. The Razor is doing very well against the Leshrac. It's very rare that I see maybe lose his lane.
There were definitely some questionable decisions last game where, oh wait, hold that thought. Chalice taking some right clicks. He's actually going to toss Moo over to the creep wave, which puts them more in range. And with this arcane rune slowed down for the moment, they might be able to find him. The burrow strike, it's not enough mana for
very
it.
nice juke.
They do not decide to go for popping the mango in the burrow there.
Yeah, would have if he saw him along the corner. But very nice salve. And the turn corner makes that impossible. As LGD, I think that they have enough veteran players that they won't get tilted from that. Because that's just...
Oh, trying to hold that thought. Z-Freak trading over the Nightmare. Nice play there to keep himself alive. And now the Soul Rip to heal him back up as well. Really well played by that IO, but will eventually go down. First blood going to Ame. Maybe going to be able to find themselves another kill onto Nova. He does end up dropping. FY now also under fire. Getting ran at. They got the missile coming at him. Ame not really able to help out his buddy too much there. It's not going to be enough for the kill, but with the flag, that's enough. That's the kill. And another one going the way of CoL.
Yeah, they're going to get 2 for 1s. But as I was saying, LGD at least get the first blood. And in last game, like you said, they were winning at pretty much every phase of the game. So as long as, you know, they stay calm, they'll kind of be aware of that. Realize we don't have to make too many adjustments. The only adjustment that we have to make is not throwing the one game.
Absolutely. Chalice there, just continuing with the 1v1. Z-Freak's going to take a little bit of damage. Good play there from FY, able to take away the illusion rune, making sure that IO is continuing to be hampered in this one. And, well, Z-Freak just going to end up getting dropped. Maybe makes that rotation. Limp, no way to help him out.
Yeah, Limp has to go all the way around. Very nice play.
Lou also died bottom while that was going on.
Very surprising.
Ame does not have any points in Doppelganger, but it's just a level 1, I believe, in the missile.
That build is quite common, by the way. And Courier has to be glyphed up. Going to be invulnerable, but not exactly the kind of start that Complexity was hoping for.
These Rubik illusions have done so much damage. They just keep on running around and right-clicking people. Very annoying. Deal with. Another decay there onto FY. They're looking for the catch. The lift land actually ends up hitting onto Chess. He's still bringing him down. He's going to get the regen coming from Z-Freak. A lot of damage. This is what the IO does so well.
I think they're going to commit for this. They realize... Nope. Gets level 4 and does grab a level. The Doppelganger.
I wanted to play a little safe with FY respawning there. A bit too scary. Another 2-person decay from Kyle, but he is out of mana right now, only stick charges, and that's where Z-Freak is going to help out his Mr. Brother.
Mr. Brother?
Mr. Brother, that's definitely a phrase.
Somebody's got to have used that. They're going to full heal, though. If I'm Complexity, I'm looking towards mid, though, at some point. It won't be an easy kill pre-level 6, though. I think as soon as Limp is about to hit 6, you call him over, and you can execute a smoke. As maybe head towards top rune.
Gonna get it in the jungle. It's an Ava toss.
Oh, that might be a kill again?
Burrow strike there. Trying to walk away, and he's got enough regen to do it.
Yeah.
Top lane, they're moving into the area by Chessie as they're gonna throw out another one of those rockets, and actually just gets farmed as well.
That's what I mean about Tiny, is Sand King normally wins almost all the melee matchups, right? Because you can just caustic. And I think that's what Complexity were anticipating as well, but Tiny does not lose matchups. This is the benefit of this hero, that it trades so damn efficiently, because he harasses you while farming.
Yeah. We gotta watch out right here in the top lane. Moo has made the rotation all the way top. Instead of heading back to base, he also picked up a soul ring while he was making that move. And vision-wise, I don't believe that LGD spot this. He's hiding out behind the tower. Tiny might be signaling that the Sand King is missing, since LGD is playing incredibly safe right now.
And the only problem here is, for Moo, that anything less than a PL kill will not be worth his time, and now Chalice has made his way over.
Oh, this is scary indeed. They're going to be able to find the Avalanche onto 2, but Chessie ends up getting healed back up from Z-Freak. They're walking away, Epicenter moving forward. They find the stun now onto the Bane. It's not bad as Ame is going to be controlled, going to almost be killed. He's going to be able to get away. The Phantom Rush towards the creeps. He's making his escape, but the creeps, the zombies are a little bit too strong for him. Again, Chessie healed. Z-Freak making the moves for his team to pull back in onto Moo. They bring in X-Nova as well, and they will eventually take down that Sand King.
Moo was way too over-aggressive there. I feel like there was an opportunity for him to live, but now Limp has hit 6. This is the time where, if you're Complexity, you want to smoke up and try to kill that Razor. With the Pulse Nova, you do have an opportunity to get a kill. But at the same time, they're reading the movement. And it's actually LGD that make the first rotation over and catch CoL in the jungle, or the river.
Well played there by LGD to punish that Undyne. Has been such a bully up there in that top lane. But it's still, if you look at the CS, all across the board in the favor of LGD. That being said, there is a lot of stacks in the jungle there. My word.
That's why I wanted to see the rotation in mid a little bit sooner. Because this is a kill lane. And LGD are reading that. I think they are saying, like, we need to protect our Razor's lead, which is like the counter to that. And that's very smart from them.
Yeah, they decided to switch this up and follow Ame to the bottom lane. Mid lane, they're still setting up on a kill, and there's the Avatos, the turnaround. It's happening from the Burrow Strike. FY is going to be caught, and maybe they get a great split earth there by Lip. They're going to be able to bring down this Razor, maybe possibly in range for the damage. Another two-person Burrow Strike. Lip is doing so much damage, but he's just outside range. The split earth, it's again. Chalice trying to find the finish. Z-Freak has done so much, but it's not enough at the end of the day, as they do bring down that Lesh. Now maybe looking for more, as Moo is having to back away.
Oh, the counterplay though. Z-Freak tossed the other way. He's trying to get to the creep wave.
Oh, the left in the middle of it. Great play by FY as they take down Z-Freak.
That was really well done by both teams. Limp didn't miss a single stun there, even caught the Razor on the lip both times. And at the same time, the Tiny in perfect position tosses him back so that Moo, who was waiting on the other side, thinking like, I'll get enough separation for this, and the lift mid-tether, they read that very nicely, and maybe gonna run into CoL here, who should die.
Yeah, he's got nowhere left to go at all, as Gyrocopter just looks on, has to back out. We are getting to a scary point right now for LGD, since the Gyrocopter ultimate is online. If there is any type of dive that goes on in the near future. 10-minute mark. Should have some of those Homes of Knowledge coming out soon. Chalice spots Z-Freak running forward for him. He's going to be able to get that Avatos. The toss far away, but then the tether and Z-Freak manages to find his way out of trouble. A split earth.
Chalice is still hasted up though. And Moo up at top, working on that Blink Dagger. Used to rush the drums very frequently. Was one of the few Sand King players I'd see do that.
Oh wow, and look at the farm for Limp here in the jungle.
Yeah, this is the comeback ult that he needs.
Not to mention the levels for Z-Freak. How good of a game is it for IO going for those relocate ganks?
He doesn't have like that natural combo like you normally see. Like no CK, no Tiny, so he needs something better to open himself up. That's why they're prioritizing getting the Sand King blink. Because oftentimes what will happen is he'll blink, they'll get the lead set up. As Limp running at him at top. Fakes the stun though.
Oh, nicely played, and they find it afterwards. Limp has been playing some beautiful Dota today, and they take down Ame yet again. LGD look a little bit shook after that game number 2.
Yeah, don't discount them though.
Yeah.
They were in a similar position last game, but they've got better discipline. Aside from the moment where they didn't. Is Moo gonna TP bottom?
And catches there, a little Burrow Strike, trying to save his tower. As they've been doing, no detection from FY, and they're forced to back out.
Yeah, Chessie up at top, gonna skip the wave. As Limp, his brother now, takes the tower. But he's gonna get a lot of this farm and solo XP for an entire wave. Still gold lead. Very close right now.
Bane is over there by the Gyrocopter as well, and they did decide to drop the call down there. Unfortunately for X-Nova, all these heroes are in the area. The Split Earth connects. They do steal away Rocket Barrage, but FY is not going to be able to do anything with that, I don't believe, unless he wants to try and chase for this one. A scary one as Chalice shows up. They do manage to get that kill, and now FY is starting to bring down Z-Freak. The chase is not going to be there in time. Split Earth again from Limp. Break that separation, and now relocate.
He's going to relocate them out. I don't think this is a situation where LGD chases for this. Chalice is making his way around, trying to see if he can get anything done here. And they really want to be able to save that mid tower. LGD well aware of that. They're making the complete
Oh, great play right there for the chase. And Kyle, one more hit, it's going to be a kill. Now, Tombstone manages to get down, though, and that might be enough to punish here. They do steal Split Earth to turn it back around, but FY now being hit with the Spirits, and the chase is going on. Moon not quite within range. They want to run down FY. Are they going to chase too far, though? Doesn't look like it. They're just going to call it off there, and maybe push mid.
Yeah, now that's a Razor for Undying trade. Well worth it, considering how well the Razor was doing. But for Complexity, their big issue is Chalice is doing so well for himself. 5,500 net worth. I think that was the reveal of the Blink Dagger too.
Seeing what Tinies can do throughout this series, particularly when you have a hero like the Leshrac, who's not exactly the tankiest one in the world. Although we were talking about it earlier, oh wait, we have to hold that thought, as they've been able to find Moo. Burrow Strike away.
FY walks in with Sandstorm.
And they will be able to walk away. But the thing I was saying is, we were talking about it behind, back in the backstage area, and the magic resistance you get from being an int hero might end up paying off a little bit against the Tiny for the Leshrac.
Yeah. Lesh does have such a low HP pool though, that in the early game at least, he's very susceptible to these ganks. Moo finishes the Blink Dagger, wants to try to set up relocate kills now.
For that opening.
A lot of this is going to come down to FY though. Rubik is one of the best counters in the game to Sand King. As soon as you stun, he's always there with the lift. He gets to steal the stun himself. But they're smoked up.
They want to fight mid, and mid is the call. Chessie is there as well. They're looking for that opening. The epicenter is channeling. They've got vision there, but they don't manage to find him. Great recognition by LGD, and Chalice does have the DD. Can he get anything from it? They're going to relocate in as Moo is going to try and chase this Tiny down. Maybe just making enough room for his team as the Burrow Strike goes through. They connect. Great Sandstorm to just join it. Ame does not manage to bring down Moo. He does end up getting to the shrine, but it's a little bit too late to save his own life.
But Ame might go down for this too now.
Oh, this is big. If Ame goes down here, they're all after him, and the Soul Rip to finish.
And X Nova on the other side. Z-Freak's pinging him out. Gonna connect with a few of the Spirits, but not sure if anybody's fast enough to keep up.
Now Limp wants to do it. It's a very quick hero, but instead it's just going to be to focus down this tower and try and gain themselves some sort of advantage that way.
As soon as I praise Limp for hitting all his stuns, he misses all the easy ones.
Oh, they used the stun there, so Gyrocopter is left alone. They have no way to break this. They're going to pull him back in. Chessie in trouble. The Avatos. Chessie somehow manages to get away from that.
And Chessie gonna try to go for the TP.
Oh, nice play there. Avalanches are going to come in time. They don't get him. But in the meantime, they did lose the Leshrac.
Yeah, maybe catches him in the mid lane. Another kill going the way of LGD. These teams setting a very blistering pace.
15 minutes.
25 kills.
All happening here. Game number 3. And it's good to see one where it's not like a very clear lead that's being held by either team, as there's a Burrow Strike through.
There's no detection though. That's quite a mistake. LGD really need the detection. That's multiple times now where he's just sandstormed.
Oh, Moo. They're going to need to bring some more detection after that as he picks up an Invis rune. There is a sentry ward over in that area, so Moo's going to make this rotation. Might be found. He heads over into the jungle.
He will not anticipate this.
Oh, X-Nova, he's got him there for the moment. The Burrow Strike trying to walk away. He will have Sandstorm up again in a second. And the Nightmare comes out. Do they have any detection for him? The relocate coming in. They want to save him. Not happening, but instead it's Chessie. They find the Split Earth. They've caught themselves again. That Razor, he dies. And X-Nova's being chased now as well. As Chessie has him in the sights, he goes down a double for Limp. And the relocate away for the IO.
And they overcommit for Moo right there. And they keep losing this Razor. There's a lot of net worth built into him. And at the same time, they still have a lot of net worth on their cores. All 3 cores doing very well. Phantom Lancer just behind the Leshrac. It feels as though he's dying more than he is.
Yeah.
Like, I felt like he was getting more stunted, but he's just been last hitting.
It feels like LGD's map movement has been really solid in making sure they're always getting something for those deaths.
Yeah.
Like, Tiny hasn't really died almost at all, and he's top of the net worth by a pretty hefty margin.
Yeah, it feels as though every single time Complexity gets a kill, it doesn't lead to too much, whereas every time LGD gets a kill, that's a 1k gold advantage because somebody is farming on their team at all times.
Previously, it was the timing of the Echo Saber on the Tiny that made all the difference in the world. He just picked that up. Immediate smoke. They want to fight.
That is a really farm Tiny.
Couple of squishy heroes that
they're gonna
might
run
go
into
down
Kyle here. This is what started it last game.
Oh, Kyle, he gets his ultimate off. Chessie is there. He drops ultimate. It's already a dead Kyle. X-Nova's here as well. Have they gone too far? They're thinking about it. They back out.
They're pinging towards FY, but everybody from LGD is here.
They also just picked up the Diffusal Blade on Ame.
No Battle Fury for him. I like that.
Sitting mid.
And he's thinking about it, but they've got to be careful. Chalice is way too strong for them to fight.
And
they gave him the one-on-one, and he is performing right now.
Definitely feels like right now LGD with a 4,000 net worth lead are able to kind of pick and choose the fights that they want. Doing a great job this game.
Like mentioned before, anytime Complexity takes a fight, they're always there as 5. LGD, on the other hand, they lose 1 hero, but 4 heroes are farming on the map.
Yeah.
So they largely negate that gold.
The Bloodstone picked up there. Again, it's not something that's really going to help them survive that much. So if LGD spot that hero out, can they 100 to 0 him with a Tiny?
Not with the Wiz.
Okay.
But Z-Freak has a lot of targets that he has to worry about. He's got to make sure that Chessie doesn't die in these engagements. Limp. His brother at all times.
I mean, Kyle's going to be the one that ends up dying, let's be real.
Yeah, they're going to go for this 4-man smoke, though. They want to make use of this Leshrac Bloodstone. Ping towards mid tower. They want to take an engagement and then immediately take this tower, if possible. They're going to run it at FY.
Burrow strike there to start it all off. Do LGD respond, or are they just going to call the death of FY worth it as he's getting hit? The Spirit connects, and Z-Freak picking up a kill. LGD. Another ward placed by Kyle, very deep here. Bought out a couple of heroes and they get the tier 1.
And the tier 1 was a real goal of that.
So 20 minutes into it, 15-15, but it's still a 3,000 gold lead for LGD. As the next couple of minutes start to unfold, how do you see this game playing out? What's the big objectives for each team?
I think LGD just continue to farm. They're very comfortable in this game. They feel as though Complexity... I think they've read that Complexity really just like to take these fights, and they will find opportunities later in the game to go for pickoffs. Like in both games, somebody was just farming neutrals, got picked off, then that led to the Rex. And Complexity are prone to do that. They just have these like lapses in judgment. So I think LGD are very comfortable with going late game. I think they've read that last game was kind of an anomaly or an aberration. They said, okay, if we go late game with this lineup, this time around we won't be super greedy, we'll get BKBs, we'll be smarter about it.
And just outplay them in fights later on as well.
Yes.
So BKB picked up for the Razor, you're talking about it and it happens. As Complexity are going to trade tier 2 towers. Oh, I guess the onus is really on CoL here to try and find the chance for it. This was what we saw before. They kind of pushed for high ground a little bit, and then they lost every single hero.
Nobody, though, from LGD's here. They don't have a single hero back. And this tower is taking a lot of damage.
This is a heck of a lot of damage. Tombstone is down as well, and they've got a catapult there. Now the Aba's on to 2, the Burrow Strike to turn it, though, and now they're also able to find the big ulti from the Gyro. Chalice is down. Now the Razor trying to chase this with the newly minted BKB. Chessie is going to be brought down before they can get the relocate out, and now Moo with the high center wants to make it happen. The Burrow wanted to. It's absolutely beautiful. Maybe it's gone. Ame as well, and X-Nova's dead too. FY also turned around upon their forced to buyback on the Tiny. FY is going to fall here, it looks like, as they bring down all 5 of them.
They forced 2 core buybacks, and a second ago, LGD had a 4k gold lead with the 2 buybacks. That's going to get all the way cut down to 1. The tower also at half HP. LGD and CoL took a page out of their playbook from last game when they just marched down mid while they were roshing. They're like, okay, LGD, they won't anticipate us, because who goes for high ground at that spot?
They made it happen though, and just absolutely insane. And again, LGD the entire look at that swing back.
That is LGD or.
It's funny, they'd been playing so disciplined that entire time, but when they got thrown off kilter a little bit, it felt like that initiation, they weren't expecting the Mu counter initiation.
Oh, Mu was brilliant at the top. He waited for such a long time. He understands, like, okay, this guy has BKB. I've got to wait that timing out. Gets the double stun on top of that. And the thing about going high ground that's always scary is almost always in Dota, everyone's been in this position. They go high ground, you lose heroes. That's just, you usually just trade the tier 3 for some heroes. It's always dangerous to go high ground. That's like the comeback mechanic in Dota, but they were actually the team that forced 2 buybacks. They didn't really lose anyone important aside from Chessie. Limp survives. That was way too good for Complexity.
Absolutely. Well, and it's also Bloodstone charges for the Lesh. I mean, I think that he's up to what? Is that 19 now for him? Am I doing math wrong?
Yeah. By the way, winner of this plays who?
Winner of this plays Liquid. You got something to say?
No. Just excited for this game.
Absolutely.
Some prize. But I mean, at least in this game so far, LGD, they have thrown another lead, and that is somewhat worrisome.
Ame, Kyle spots them all out. They're all there. If Mu is able to get within range.
Yeah, this invis is quite big. And once again, they don't have detection for this area. Of course, they have no way of knowing that he is invis. And they're playing so scared. With no buybacks on their tiny end. Phantom Lancer. They're in such a weird spot right now.
I mean, at the end of the day, it is still LGD with the better late game team.
Yes.
And there's still tier 1s that are up, there's still tier 2s that are up.
But the team fight goes the way of Complexity. Right. They have so many disables, we talked about it. The amount of stuns that they have, it's much easier to team fight with what they have. They've got a ton of AoE. If you look at LGD's lineup, it's almost entirely single target.
Right.
That usually means that you have the inferior team fight. The laning phase for mass single target teams is always going to be positive. But when it comes to the actual large engagements, despite having the lead.
Mid lane, Gyrocopter left all alone as they're starting to bring him down. They do manage to find that kill and gonna have the sleep as well on to
Z-Freak.
Z-Freak's end up falling. 2 huge kills for LGD.
Yeah, and Complexity also doing the same as LGD with a very nice move mid. They realize, okay, these guys are trying to split. They're trying to be a little bit greedy with the relocate, and Complexity are like, well, you guys can always come in a little bit late if there is a fight. LGD very smart in recognizing that.
Oh, Kyle.
They're going in the Roche pit.
Yeah, another attempt here for LGD as they want to try and secure. They are going to be going to that late game.
Yeah, can we look at Roche? Check Roche.
We're going to get there.
Oh, we go.
And
it's not being taken fast, but if Complexity have no idea that this is being taken,
yeah, it's pretty hard to do anything about it. And Roche does go down. Ame picks up the Aegis. What could be the defining things here?
Yeah, they're pinging up the shrine right now. They want to fight at the high ground area.
Oh wait, they're kind of alone here and separated out. FY great so fast. What a freaking player. He does manage to get the Sandstorm though, the turnaround, and FY just kind of TP out of there. Are you kidding me? No, the splitter that ends up finding them. FY picks up the Force Staff.
Maybe is forced to use the BKB.
Yeah.
That is the second charge, if I'm keeping track correctly. I think he's at 8 seconds now.
Tether Grant Scepter bonus. It's happening.
Oh, that's hype.
So we've got the Side Gunner for the Gyrocopter, Limp with the Lightning Storm, if I'm not mistaken, being applied.
The Super Decay.
The Super Decay, 10 strength per. And
so you mentioned the
Burrow Strike Forever.
Yeah. Wow. That's value.
I think it's pretty good.
I keep forgetting about it because nobody does it. It's not that common. And once again, they're just going to march into the high ground. Where's LGD's defense? If they can hold this one, this would be huge for them.
Yeah, wanting to make it happen. They're all walking forward, but in the meantime, it's Colder on the high ground. Avatos onto that gyrocopter. He's healed back up, though. Not falling for the moment. The tether's still going. They're starting to bring him down. The side gunner is more than enough damage. They get the relocate away, and now the left track left alone. They're going to try and turn onto him, and it looks like, indeed, they might be able to bring him down. He's very tanky, but not tanky enough. And they will bring down the Tombstone. On the other side, though, they bring down X-Nova. The relocate back in. Io is gone, and Kyle getting damage stolen. I believe that he's going to end up following the turnaround. He wants to make it happen. The BKB comes up from the Razor. Beautifully played. There is not enough damage there as Chessie wants to turn this, but they don't have nearly enough. They take it down. A triple kill for Maybe, and Moo also going to die. He's dead. He's back up in a second limp, but...
Such a clean team fight from LGD. And that hold was monumental.
Yeah.
You lose the high ground there, they're taking Rex and more. Phenomenal right there. The Razor just got the BKB off of cooldown at the same time. That was so well done. Chalice immediately forces the BKB from the gyrocopter 2 in a position where he really doesn't want to pop it, but the instant burst from the Tiny forces that situation.
Was the stun just not there for Moo to catch onto the Razor? Or it looked like if he maybe gets that one.
I think they saw the vision.
Oh, right.
They have a ward down. LGD played that fight. The little things they did very well.
Yeah.
They placed the vision on top of the hill, so this time around they see Moo going for it. If he gets the Razor kill, maybe they're able to turn it around. Because it's still him and the gyrocopter in a decent position when it comes to health. But complexity, they do get the Aegis, that's the positive, but look at Ame, finishes the heart. We talked about how that's going to be very important against the Leshrac and the gyrocopter. This is the item that counters it.
4,000 net worth lead again for LGD, and it feels like it only gets harder from here. All right, they've caught him for the moment. It's a lot of damage onto all these heroes. Force Staff, keeping Ame alive, and Razor's just going right on in. On to Z-Freak, taking that little ball of light down, and he is going to be stunned here as they start to bring down that Tombstone. It's out of there. The buyback coming in as the Io wants to try and turn this one. If at all possible, Limp's still living. They managed to get the tether. That's keeping him alive. Chasing for more. Razor already dead, and Chalice is BKB out. They don't manage to quite find that, but they still are going to be able to most likely run down this Tiny as they get extra damage onto him, and the Burrow Strike, the Spirits, it all hits, and Chalice hits the deck as well, but he gets moved.
Crowd reacting to every single kill LGD gets. Right now, LGD, they're still in a position to fight right now.
They want to turn this. Z-Freak, they do have the side gunner still going, but it's not looking like it's enough, and Z-Freak, he fought back for that. He's gone. Kyle, nowhere left to go, is able to dodge the doppelganger.
They're out of mana right now.
It's not happening.
They got to get out. Ame is so strong.
Yeah, this is terrifying. And next Nova, they've got all the disable in the world. He is going to be controlled. The gyrocopter has nowhere left to go. They can think about buying back, maybe you're getting over there, but this guy is super dead. Chessie fallen, and LGD striking back.
And FY stolen Burrow Strike did so much work in that engagement.
I'm not going to lie, the IO Ags talent is feeling a little bit underwhelming. As much as it would be cool, but honestly, that's not even what it's about. What was the most key point in that fight?
That Phantom Lancer recognized I can just 1v5. Nobody can touch me. They took that fight on uneven terms, and they still won. They read that situation beautifully. They understood Limp, very low mana, can't engage, and this is the hero that's going to clear out most of these illusions. Gyrocopter didn't quite have BKB up. The Sand King would be the initiating stun, the reliable stun. When he goes down to Chalice, at that moment, the fight, it pretty much ends.
So can Limp still clear through the illusions? I mean, he got the heart on PL now. It feels like he is just so freaking strong.
Yeah, he's trying to go for the Shivas, but it's just an awkward position to be put into. And this is where LGD, their discipline, it pays off. At a moment's notice, they had to force 2 buybacks early on 2 different cores, and they almost got their tier 3 tower taken. And 10 minutes later, they're up 9,000 gold.
Yeah. They do have an evasion talent now for Limp. It's pretty nifty, but in the meantime, it's going to be Chessie. They spot him out. They get the lift. FY, could it be anybody else? The Burrow Strike as well. Force the rotation, although he is going to be punished now a little bit. They relocated away 1, which means that FY is just going to be able to TP away.
FY. This guy's Rubik is so good.
Forces rotations, forces out the relocate.
Also, all Battle Fury Phantom Lancers, you see this, right? Like, he is doing so much work.
Yeah.
Because he's not delayed a full item.
the important parts.
He has everything he needs to battle right now.
And it's not like he's falling behind in farm at all. He's farming heroes. Staying alive.
Gyrocopter gonna go for MKB.
As far as LGD is concerned, do they really have to be worried about much coming out from CoL now? Like, what's the big thing that could go wrong now? Because it definitely feels like they're in a commanding position.
When the Razor begins to run out of BKB charges, it's still a little bit scary. And there are still a lot of ways for them to clear illusions. Okay. If you get cocky and the fight gets started a little bit awkward, like if you can start on the Razor before he gets his BKB off, that's your opening. But for Complexity, that's hard because Chalice just runs in.
Yeah.
He just like starts the fight every single time. Sand King is not an ideal initiator because in perfect circumstances, you're counter-initiating.
Right.
That's how your ulti works. But Complexity, they're not having fun sending any of their heroes out to frontline. You see that Limp's trying to do it with this Pipe and Shivas, but the Gyrocopter, when he frontlines, he just gets taken to a quarter of his health. He has to pop BKB. They've got to use a lot to try to save him. And all it takes is the stun toss from the Tiny and 2 or 3 hits.
Yeah, it's a ridiculous amount of damage and so much burst. Meanwhile, up here on the high ground, Moo, they run into a couple. The Burrow Strike hits onto nothing. He was just trying to save his buddy, but he ends up losing his life. And Chessie now trying to deal the damage that
he's still alive, though.
He does manage to live through that. You're right. And Doppelganger to the low ground. Ame running away. Tiny is completely isolated here. And CoL managed to win that fight.
Finally, a successful team fight for them as they're still chasing forward. Moo blinks.
Oh, Burrow, they've got themselves X-Nova. Maybe on the high ground, just turns this back around and Chessie's starting to fall. He blows up. Moo is dead too. They turn it in a second.
Double stun from
FY. What a beautiful player. They catch him out. They're going to pull down Limp. Everything in the kitchen sink thrown at CoL. And they lose it all. As Z-Freak is also going to be ran down. No buybacks. No answer. LGD running down mid.
Giant flat red nose. It's LGD. Now 12k up. Surely this time, they're good.
They are going to go right down mid lane. They obviously don't know that these buybacks aren't available with the exception of the IO, but they will figure it out pretty quickly.
Yeah, nobody's bought back at this time. Maybe this time around, realizing BKB is a very good item. I am invincible. I can run at all these Complexity heroes and they can do nothing to me.
Then, well, they're going to move down bottom. 2 sets of rack at the very least, it looks like. Although some heroes are starting to respawn. Limp trying to clear through those creeps that are in the mid lane. And oh, with the rest of the heroes respawning, do LGD want to stick around any longer? Kyle's starting to lose his mana. They're draining it from Limp as well. And it looks like with that, LGD are going to back out.
They have learned their lesson. Last time they lost 3 heroes doing this. This time around, they said, no, we'll back out early. The range racks doesn't matter. We can reset for that. Roshan is still an option. There's no way they risk anything after last game.
17,000 net worth lead for LGD as the tri-core lineup is only going to continue to get stronger from here. I mean, like he's saying, the BKB charges do become a bit of an issue, but we haven't really seen Complexity been able to bait out those BKBs early.
Yeah, and CoL, last game, they went for this all-in Roche. This game, they're going to do it again. They want to fight around this area, but LGD
on the back completely prepared. They found Z-Freak. He's all alone, isolated. They jump through. Chalice trying to bring them low. Limp, he's going to get nightmared there for the moment. It's still a lot of damage. The BKB has already been used, though, and Chessie being isolated, being killed off. They get that kill. Limp trying to run away. They might actually be able to find the Razor. Moo doing a lot, and Limp is still living through this. But on the high ground, it's far too much. A double kill there. More kills, no buybacks. Kyle trying to run. Roche is the only friend that they've got right now. But honestly, in a second, it's looking like LGD are going to maybe be able to take more.
And this is what I was saying about the Phantom Lancer against all these AoE clears. Once you get the heart, the matchup becomes, it's whatever, honestly. You don't care anymore.
Yeah.
He's untouchable at this point.
Doing his best Enchantress cosplay, 26 to 36. And the buyback comes from Undying, but these are not heroes that are going to be capable of defending in a meaningful way.
No, not at all.
They go for further. Actually, it looks like LGD are going to keep playing it safe and go for Roche.
They're going to finish this up. I think because of last game,
yeah,
they're being as careful as possible, very detail-oriented.
Yeah, you can't lose a game like that and not have it affect you either positively or negatively. This game, it's certainly feeling like it's positive.
Yes. This time around, very disciplined. Roshan's gonna fall. Chalice is gonna pick it up, the initiator. Ame's like, there's no need. Trust me, I insist.
Yep. Now, they don't have buybacks on the PL, but he has not died, I don't think, in the past 10 minutes or so.
They did such a good job of controlling him early, but after that one engagement at top, ooh.
Yeah, it's been a really good game by LGD, and looking to try and finish it off here. Chessie is level 20, has the Rapier queued up. I mean, they've been lacking physical damage. That's a way back into it for them, but he needs the gold, and he needs to get to the shop, too.
Yeah, we saw the comeback in the Mineski game, but slightly different circumstances.
Absolutely.
That game, they had an OD backing them up, too.
Again, the strength of relocate ganks are there. 100 attack.
Pressure orb?
Yeah, he had an Aghanims queued up, but then switched it over. So BKB is going to be around again.
The double BKB.
Amen.
Let's go.
So, complexity. Is it just buy time for Rapier and Rapier or bust?
Yes. I don't think you have any other options. That Roshan play, they were trying to make lightning strike twice.
CoL is still holding on to that as LGD will try and farm up. And what is the item for them that they want to go for? Because it seems as if Aegis might be enough. Or are they just waiting to get the lanes in good position?
I think they're just waiting for the lanes. They shouldn't be afraid of anything at this point.
Why? They pull him back in a little bit off the mark there with the split earth.
Yeah, rare miss.
Was that FY that had it stolen?
Yeah.
Okay.
It has to be. Nobody else can cast the...
I was wondering if he'd cast it. Yeah, no, for sure. Ame. They jump forward. Don't quite manage to find him. Chalice going to get hit with one missile. They steal Tombstone for FY. Gonna drop his own in a second if they want to.
He takes down the Tombstone so fast on the Phantom Lancer.
Yeah.
He's got a cheese. They can't kill him once. I don't know how they'll do it twice.
Doppelganger to dodge. Limp. He's actually able to isolate to one solo one. BKB comes out from Chessie. Still a lot of damage. Burrow Strike on to 3. Not bad, but not quite good enough either. It's a lot of magical damage coming through, but the secondary BKB is there for the Razor. They do burn through that Tiny at least once. It's that Aegis. Z-Freak still living through this for the moment. Able to get the relocate away. He's living. Now also maybe in trouble. He almost goes down, but it's not quite there. They did lose the gyrocopter. They lost that Undying as well, and Limp tried desperately to finish this one off, but he can't even take down FY. Moo Epicenter on to nothing. Ame, the Burrow Strike is there. They don't have enough physical damage though, and the Rax is down, Limp is down, and Complexity are going to be eliminated as LGD are moving on to the playoffs.
GG as CoL lose this one 2-1. They had their moments, especially with the forced buybacks up at top when they made that mad rush in. But it was really the Roshan that was the turning point for LGD.
Absolutely.